Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Dark Knight Returns, which is a graphic novel written by everyone's favorite psychotic writer, Frank Miller, and the art is also done by Frank Miller. Now, spoilers if you have not read this book, even though a lot of people who have not read the book still know pretty much everything that happens in the book since it's so popular. It is one of, if not the most popular Batman book of all time. Now, let's get into it. This book, well, again, spoilers, again, but yeah, this book sees a retired Batman. He's 55 years old, and he retired after Jason Todd's death because he just couldn't go on anymore, and he really has lost purpose. He just doesn't know what to do. He just goes around Gotham lollygagging, like, not really, that's the way Bruce Wayne is now because he lost purpose. And we see that this new crime wave has taken over Gotham with this new group called the Mutants, which is a group that largely consists of teenagers, and their whole goal is to take over Gotham and eventually the world, as they say. Although by the art, you would not be able to tell that they are teenagers. The art in this book is really hit or miss for me. Sometimes it's cool, other times it's terrible, and I mean terrible. Like when Batman is fighting Superman, it just looks like two fat people rolling around. That's what it looks like. Instead of these two titans battling each other, it's just like, this is bad. This is really, really bad. Again, there are other parts where it looks cool, but a lot of times like I said, hit or miss. Now, a big part of this book, what Frank Miller uses to give exposition and things, is the news. He just has panel upon panel of news giving you exposition, telling you things that happen, and sometimes giving you eyewitness accounts, which is pretty cool. And this is sort of like the art. It's hit or miss for me. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I'm just like, get back to Batman. I don't care what these random news reporters have to say. Get me back to Batman. Because sometimes it just feels like filler. It feels like Frank Miller did not know what to throw into the issue, so he just threw these news reporters on there instead of showing us what Batman's doing, which is what I really care about. What these news reporters are saying, I don't really care. But sometimes, like I said, it's cool like seeing these random people just giving their accounts of what happened. I like that. Now, Batman's first act when he comes out of retirement as Batman is he saves Carrie Kelly, which, everyone knows is Robin, inspires her to become Robin later on, which I'll touch on in a second. Now, his first big crime that he stops is Two-Face, because there's this new doctor in Arkham, I don't remember his name, but his whole goal is to get these people out of Arkham. He believes that they're being oppressed by Batman. They're not truly evil people. Batman's the one who made them evil, which is sort of true for some people. But not really. So, yeah, he gets Two-Face out. Two-Face, his surgery, I believe, was paid for by Bruce Wayne. Bruce paid for his surgery. He's been a big supporter of him, but, Batman has his suspicions about him, doesn't really think he's going to be good, and surprise, surprise, he turns to a life of crime when he's released, and his face is all fixed up from the surgery, but he's a criminal again. That's the first big crime that Batman stops. It's pretty cool seeing him back in action, and you hear the dialogue in his head. He's constantly just going like, lucky, I'm able to do this and this. It's pretty cool though, and yeah, he stops him. Now, the next part is Batman takes on the mutants. He goes to their garbage dump, which is where their headquarters are at, because they're a bunch of idiots. The mutants are just a bunch of really, really stupid people that just have numbers. Their strength is in numbers because they're all idiots. But Batman goes there in the Bat Tank. It's not a Batmobile. It's called the Batmobile, but it's not a Batmobile. It is a Bat Tank. But Batman goes there. He takes out almost all the mutants, but then the mutant leader's just like, face me like a man. So Batman jumps out of the tank, fights him, gets his butt kicked. It's a really cool fight. It is very well done. I love the fight. But again, some parts of the art is just like, this would have been so much better if you had a decent artist doing it. But some of the art does look cool when they're fighting. The fight was really cool, and then Carrie Kelly comes and saves Batman's butt. They escape in the Batmobile. Now, Carrie Kelly is my least favorite Robin. I don't like Carrie Kelly at all, and that's because Frank Miller does not give me a reason to like Carrie Kelly at all. Carrie Kelly has absolutely zero character development in this book. She's just there to save Batman, and sometimes you get to see her perspective on things, but I don't care. There's no character development. I don't care about her at all. Her whole thing is just to save Batman several times in the book, and then that's it, and she can just suddenly dodge bullet fire. She's apparently really good in gym class, but that's pretty much it. She's not really trained by Batman. She just has a slingshot. She goes around, I don't care about her at all. That's why she's my least favorite Robin. I don't like her. She's just Frank Miller did a terrible job with her. He did not give me a reason to like her at all, which is a big reason I don't want her in Batman v Superman, because she's not a good character. She's just not. Now, Batman, after all this, after Carrie Kelly saves him, we see that Superman is talking to the president. And because Superman is now a government stooge, he does whatever the president tells him. Because in this book, this is an Elseworld story, obviously. Superman is a government stooge. We are not getting like cool stuff like Injustice, Red Sun Superman. We got cool evil Superman. In this, we got Frank Miller's version of Superman. How Frank Miller sees Superman. This is how I personally believe, because we see in the book how Frank Miller sees Superman. He sees him as somebody who thinks he's better than everyone else and is just constantly seeking approval of the people. And that's why he works for the president and does whatever he tells him. I mean, anything. He goes around and just murders a bunch of Russians because the president told him, and that's what he does. And it's really, like, his portrayal of Superman is terrible. This is an Elseworld story, but to me, when you have an Elseworld story, there's so many possibilities of what to do with Superman, you just decide to do this. It's lazy and bad. It's just not an interesting version. This is like a half-baked attempt. If I want evil Superman, I'm going to read Injustice. I'm not going to read this crap. Now, granted, this was back in the day. I'm not calling the book crap. I'm calling his portrayal of Superman crap. Again, at the end of the book, I'll tell you my entire thoughts on the end of the video. I'll tell you my entire thoughts on the book. But his portrayal of Superman is terrible. And not because, like I said, he made him bad, but because he made Superman think he was doing good, he was working for the government, and he makes him think he's better than everyone else. And it's just terrible, because this is Frank Miller's version of Superman. This is not like when other writers write Injustice, they know this is not the real Superman. This is a different version of Superman that they're writing. They get to have fun with it. Frank Miller was writing this. I know he was. He was writing this thinking, this is how Superman is. I'm going to show people this is how Superman really is. That's how I believe he wrote this book. Well, how he wrote his portrayal of Superman. Now, moving on from Superman, Batman goes back. He beats the mutant leader. You know, surprise, surprise. It's a really cool fight. And then after he beats the mutant leader, all the mutants reform, besides the one that went to jail, and become the Sons of Batman, which are just these crazy crime-fighting group that do really crazy things. Like, they cut off a shoplifter's hands. They do a lot of crazy stuff. And, yeah, we also see that Gotham is going through a lot of changes with a new commissioner is in town. Now, Commissioner Gordon is retiring, so the whole thing, they're like, who are we going to have as new commissioner? So they choose Commissioner Yindel, who was a police captain, and she has an outstanding police record. She is another character that is not fleshed out at all. There is no character development. Her whole thing is, Batman's evil. I'm not like Commissioner Gordon. I'm not gonna be buddy buddy with Batman. I'm gonna go against him. He's evil. We need to take him out. He's a murderer. That's her whole thing in the entire book, is that she doesn't like Batman. There's nothing else to her. She is a one-dimensional, terrible character. I don't like Commissioner Yindel at all, and it's not that I don't like her because, she's going against Batman, I like Batman. It's because she's a bad character, plain and simple. There's nothing else to her. And that's it. Frank Miller, now, you don't have to do character development for Commissioner Gordon or Batman, because their characters, we know they're already established, but for Commissioner Yindel and Carrie Kelly, these are completely new characters. We need character development, but instead Frank Miller just like, nah, I'll fill it up with a bunch of news panels that no one cares about instead of putting character development there. That's what he does. Now, after that, we see the Joker. Now, the Joker has been in retirement for 10 years as well, because when Batman went into retirement, there was no purpose for Joker anymore. Like he said in Batman the Animated Series, without Batman, life has no punchline. That's how it is for the Joker. And so he's been in retirement. Batman comes out of retirement. He's like, ooh. So he tries to get out of Arkham. And what he does is the doctor believes in him and believes he's been oppressed by Batman, so he gets him on a talk show. Well, on the talk show, Batman kills every single person there. And then he goes to this carnival, and he kills a lot of people there. Batman confronts him. It's a really cool fight. One thing I really do love about this book, Batarangs are how I imagine Batarangs would be. Because in the comics, it's really stupid how, like, Batman's throwing big metal things at people and it's just, like, bounce off. That's not... Does Batman have foam on his Batarangs? I don't think so. So in this, Batarang sticking people, like, it sticks in Joker's eye, and it was really cool. Like, throughout the whole fight, Joker has a Batarang in his eye, and it's awesome. And they fight. Batman's just thinking the whole time because, Jason was killed by Joker, and he's thinking all these lives are on me because I did not kill Joker. So he says he's got to do it. But in the end, he does not have the guts to do it still, and Joker cracks his own neck. Joker's just, and it really is like like a big thing because you're just all throughout the whole art panels, just is all written on him, and it's like, this is this is pretty dark, but it was good. I liked seeing that, how Joker's like, they're gonna get you for this, for murdering me, because I obviously wouldn't break my own neck, wink. And he breaks his own neck, and then the commissioner and her task force come in. Batman punches her in the face, which is one of the best things that ever happened in this entire book. I loved it. It's just a panel of Batman's fat fist hitting her in the face, and I loved it. Now, after this, we see that there was a nuke sent over to the United States, because during this whole book, there's this whole war going on with the Corto Maltese, like the Soviets and the U.S. are going over there, and we're fighting Russians. And Superman, like I said before, well, I think I said before, he's been murdering a bunch of Soviets because the president told him to. Now, the nuke comes, Superman stops it, causes a giant EMP on all throughout the U.S., and Gotham obviously is affected, and so it's like that. Batman gets a bunch of horses because everything goes into chaos. Everyone's like, it's World War III, how kill everyone. So Batman gets a bunch of horses, rides into Gotham, confronts the sons of Batman who have been doing all these terrible things. Like, hey, this is not how we do things. We don't use guns. That's the enemy's weapons. We're going to use our fists. Come on, we're going to stop these people. So they go in. It's really cool seeing them riding horses, like lassoing people up and just stopping crime in Gotham. I really like that. It was awesome to see. And then we get a ton of news panels. Some are cool. Some seeing like people are of things that happened during the whole crisis when the blackout went out. I thought that was cool. But then there are other times where it's just like, I don't care. I just got 2 eyewitness accounts. I don't need 5 more. I don't. So yeah, again, the news is hit or miss for me. Now, after that, we see Batman versus Superman. Now, Batman versus Superman, the big fight that everyone knows happens because the president, throughout this whole book, has been asked, what is your stance on Batman? Because Batman, he's back in Gotham. He's a big deal. And so he's like, well, he's been avoiding it. He's like, it's up to the governor. And the governor's like, well, it's up to the mayor. And the mayor's like, well, it's up to the commissioner, and the commissioner's against Batman. And so then the president decides, hey, Batman's a big deal. He's a superhero. You need to go take him out. He tells Superman that. Superman goes. He flies over where Bruce is. Heat vision's down saying, where? And he says, Crime Alley. So they fight in Crime Alley. Superman is a little depowered from the nuke. Batman mentions that several times while they're fighting, saying that he's not as powerful. Batman fights him. He gets help from Green Arrow with a kryptonite arrow. The fight's all right. It's just like Frank Miller takes away one of my favorite parts about Batman, which is the humanity of Batman. He takes it away because through this whole book, we've been seeing Batman has been beaten down by these people. He says he's a lucky old man. He's barely been able to scrape by, but he's fighting Superman, even though it's a super suit. Superman rips the face mask off, but Batman is beating the tar out of him. It's just like, you're going against everything you were saying earlier. This is not some 55-year-old man. This guy isn't human. This is just stupid. And so the fight goes on. It's all right. It's an all right fight. And then the book ends with, Batman fakes his heart attack, and he gets buried. Clark is there at his funeral, but Clark hears He hears his heart is starting again. He faked the heart attack, and then he winks at Carrie Kelly because Carrie Kelly digs him up. Also, we see a big thing is the fact that Alfred died. Alfred burned Wayne Manor at the instructions of Bruce Wayne because everything's been burned. I mean, like, the whole Batman's gone. And then Batman comes back. He uses his Sons of Batman, Carrie Kelly, to start, like, a crusade through Gotham, and that's where the book ends. This book was all right. This is my second time ever reading it. I read it a while ago when I was really young, which I probably shouldn't have been reading it then because it's a really dark book. I can understand things better than I could then. But this book I'd have to give it like a 6 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, I know people are being like, what? Again, this is my opinion. You have your opinion. You think it's the best book ever made. That's fantastic. But yeah, the good to me in this book is Joker was done really well. Commissioner Gordon was my favorite part of the book. So there were some cool fights, like the fight with the mutant leader. The bad is Superman was portrayed terribly. The art, for the most part, is really bad. The news is just filler, which takes a majority of the book, and there's just a bunch of stuff that's not interesting. Batman's not human. There's a ton of undeveloped characters. The books, to me, is overrated, especially now. Maybe back when it came out, it could have been the stuff. It could have been amazing. But when you compare it to great Batman books like Hush or The Court of Owls or Batman and the Black Mirror, it pales in comparison. Especially like Hush is a great comparison because Hush brought humanity to Batman, like big time. Harvey Dent was done so much better with Harvey Dent's whole face being, healed in Hush. Just everything's better in Hush. Hush is a good comparison to me. But yeah, it's just like you look at all these other great storylines, it's like maybe for the time, maybe because there wasn't something like it, but now it really pales in comparison to all these other great Batman books. So I'd have to say, to me, The Dark Knight Returns is the most overrated comic book of all time. I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with that, but this is my opinion. Again, my opinion. I thought the book was all right. Like I said, 6 out of 10. It was not terrible, but it was by no means was it good. A 6 out of 10 to me is just not bad. That's what it means. 6 out of 10 means not bad. I'll probably have like a scale saying something. But yeah, Dark Knight Returns. I would not, anyone who's just, who, if they were to ask me what Batman storylines to read, I would not recommend Dark Knight Returns. I wouldn't. There's so many other better Batman storylines. Also, there are better Elseworld Batman storylines, such as Earth One, which was done in the New 52, and it's really good. But yeah, this book was just alright. I'm going to end it here. Please let me know in the comments below what are your guys' thoughts on The Dark Knight Returns. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.